Hi there, it's Jaya.
And Ian.
And this week in our 52-week YouTube challenge to make over your sex life, we are talking about the 7 barriers that prevent you from awesome passion and pleasure. So we're going to start a new series today, and today we're going to talk about barrier number 1, which is
excuses.
Excuses. And you guys might not like me too much after hearing this today, but because we use a lot of excuses, and this is one of the number 1 things I see holding people back is actually the excuses that they make. So what are some examples of excuses? Well, the common one. What's the most common one?
Well, one is like they don't like me or they don't think I'm good looking.
Well, the most common one though is headaches.
Oh.
I got a headache, right? I mean, how many times have you heard that or seen it in a movie? Like,
not feeling well.
I don't feel well.
No.
That's an excuse. My favorite definition of an excuse is excuses are well-planned lies, and that's by Danny Johnson. I just love that because it really is a well-planned lie, even though it's unconscious. There's something that we talk about called an ascusination. So I'm going to take this a little bit further, and Ian started pointing to the ascusinations. But an ascusination is a hallucination that you have that leads to an assumption that leads to an excuse. So let's break that down. So hallucination would be what Ian said.
Oh, my butt is fat, or she doesn't like the way I bald, so she doesn't like that I'm bald.
Right, so one of my hallucinations might be Ian doesn't really want me. That would be
big hallucination.
A hallucination, you know, that I might have. Like, he doesn't think I'm attractive, he doesn't think I'm beautiful, he doesn't want me because his libido doesn't match mine. And so I'll create that, right? And then from there, I'll create an assumption. So then my assumption would be something like, well, he's not initiating sex because he's not attracted to me because he doesn't want me. It goes back to my hallucination. And so then I start creating excuses around not connecting with him. So then I might do something like, well, I'm just not going to initiate to prove my point.
Mm-hmm. So then you stack these things together, and then you prove your point, and then you end up alone without the connection that you want, and you completely undermine the quality of relationship that you're looking for.
Right. So we've got all these different excuses. Common ones I hear: headaches, my partner's not that into me, I'm going through menopause. Yes, it may be a fact. So yes, it may be a fact that you're going through menopause, but that doesn't mean that you can use that as an excuse not to connect. So an example would be, I have a client who comes to me and says, hey, I'm going through menopause and my sex life is over. I give up, I'm having hot flashes, my libido's in the tanker, I'm no longer attracted to my partner, I'm done. And then I have a client who comes to me and says, Jaya, I'm going through menopause and oh my God, I need help. I want help. I've got hot flashes and I've lost my libido. What do I do? And then we seek solutions. And we get really persistent. We get persistent around constantly looking for the next solution. Okay, that one didn't work, let's tweak it, let's course correct, let's go to the next solution. So we stay in that persistence.
And the solutions may not be what you're looking for, but there are ways to keep that connection alive. And often, once you start finding the back doors around excusinations, you find that you can actually end up addressing, from a different path, the exact thing that was blocking you, that excusination that you've made up.
Mm-hmm. So let's break this down to 3 solutions for you today. So first thing is to check in. Is this the truth? Am I hallucinating? Is this an assumption that I'm making? And can I go to my partner and say, hey, are you really attracted to me or not attracted to me? And be prepared to hear the truth. There we go. Well, And then the next piece is get solution oriented. So get curious and get solution oriented. Okay, if you're not attracted to me, if that was true, then how do we get solution oriented and find attraction with one another again? Or if you are, then how do I get, like on a page where I can boost my libido, or we're boosting our libido so we have more connection?
And what does expression of attraction look like? So you start to make up strategies of how to connect, how to make it so that you feel that your partner is attracted to you. So it's kind of like the languages of love. So maybe Jaya needs a lot of sex. So for me, I would then start to look at strategies of how I can seduce her more, how I can engage her sexually more, because one of my greatest values is to make sure that I'm giving my partner what feeds her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could tell me I'm beautiful all day long, but that's not what makes me feel attractive. Him having sex with me makes me feel attractive. And then the third piece, so we've got 1, get clear, is this the truth? 2, get solution oriented. And 3, be persistent instead of resistant. Resistance is a huge killer, and it's part of the excuses package. And so if you're resistant, you're just not going to make change. However, if you're persistent, then you're going to make sure that you drive through and get results and make change in your relationship.
And persistent can sometimes lead to something that happens, which is nagging. So persistence is more about finding solutions that work for both of you within the couple, and you're not stomping all over each other's needs. So persistent as a team to solve together the problem.
You're working together as a team against the problem, not against one another.
Right.
That's a great, John Gottman's one of my favorite people in communication, and he talks about that a lot in his research, that the people who work together as a team stay together. The people who work against one another, their relationships don't last. So there we go. There's our 3 cents, our 2 cents, our many cents on excuses. We are doing a 52-week YouTube channels challenge, so make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and
fill out, give us your questions down below, because
Yes.
we're in those, checking those, make comments. Also hit that little lovely like button. We go deep into this work in courses that we offer, like Ignite Your Passion, and you can always go to MissJaiya.com to check out our work.
And one more thing, I challenge you to give me any excuse. So go ahead in the bottom down there, give me your excuses. What are your excuses that you use to keep yourself from having an amazing sex life and relationship? And I'll be responding to some of those and letting you know, well, here's here's why this excuse is just a well-planned lie. Take that on. All right, see you later. Until next time, fill your life with pleasure.